Hey, new students. This is Professor Farunas. I wanted to give you an overview of the course. I'll go over a few things today. You'll want to make sure that you read the orientation guide. There are still a couple of copies outside of my office in Jordan Hall 305. That'll be the other part of this overview. Okay, so what we're looking at here is our Moodle page, and the first thing that I want to look at is the assignment schedule. So go ahead and click on that. Now this is going to look pretty busy at first, but after the first couple of times that you use this, it'll all make sense. I'll go over this kind of piece by piece. So we'll look at Wednesday, our next class, as an example. I lay out the day and the date for each class, and then for every class I make some notes about what we're going to do that day, and then I make those notes available to you. I want to make this as transparent as possible. So this is a really good resource for you if you are the kind of person who wants to know what you're in for that day. You can see what we're going to be doing in class, or if you miss class and you want to find out what we did, this is a great resource as well. All right. Oh, I should note that you don't have to read this. This is not required reading. This is just what I provide for you if you want. Let's get that out of there. Okay. If there's anything to read for the class, it'll be in these slots here under the read column. You'll see in upcoming classes there are certainly reading assignments, and that's where they're listed. I should note that when a reading assignment is in that box, it is to read for that day. I want to make sure that's really clear. It's not that we start reading it on that day and it's due the next class. You read that for that day. It's the same deal with the two hand in at beginning of class column. So on Wednesday, for example, you're going to have done your first story. You'll upload it through Moodle and you'll bring a hard copy to class. So again, this is due on Wednesday. This isn't something we're starting on Wednesday and you turn in the next class. Okay, a couple more words about the assignment schedule. You'll see here up at the top it says something like this is a living document that will evolve over the course of the semester. The rest of it reads reference this online instead of printing it out so you can keep up with the changes. So this is going to change over the course of the semester. If you print this out at any point, it will become obsolete and outdated, and you'll get off track with the rest of the class. So just, you can either bookmark it or access it through Moodle, but just look at it online so that we can all keep in step. A few words about the first story that you're writing on Wednesday. This is the only part of the class where I'm going to give you no support at all, and that's because this is kind of a pre-test. Okay, I want to see where you're at without any instruction in Storycraft. I want to establish a baseline so that both of us can look back at this at the end of the class and compare it to a later story that you write to see exactly how much you've learned through the course of this class. So yes, I'm giving you no support in just saying write a story, any length, any type, whatever. And I know that can be a little panic-inducing, but please know that all I'm grading on here is that you do it with a good faith effort, and that we're going to be using it as a baseline to compare later stories to. Okay, if you have other questions about that, please let me know. But if not, we'll go ahead and move on from the assignment schedule to something else. All right, a couple other things that I want to take a look at here. The first is the Story Genome Project. You know a little bit about that from the orientation guide. This is a group project, and during the first day of class, everybody chose their groups. You're not in here yet, but you will be soon. I'm going to wait until Wednesday to reconfigure this. My understanding is that Drop-In Ed is on Tuesday, so there may still be more movement and people coming into this class and going out. But once that settles down, then we'll get all this rearranged. Here we have all the different kinds of stories that we're going to be reading this semester. There's We Three, the graphic novel. There's some oral stories that are nonfiction. Um, and then, there's a movie in there and a television episode. In any case, each group has 3 people in it now. We may have 1 or 2 groups with 4. Um, but this link is on Moodle. Once we get it straightened out on Wednesday, who's in what group, you're going to probably want to get with your group fairly soon to start brainstorming and also to read the story, watch the show, whatever it is, to do that early so that you can get multiple drafts of it in. The more that you read a story or watch that story, the more you're going to be able to break it down for this project. The next thing that I wanted to show you is workshop groups. After you write the first story, you're going to be writing 2 other stories that will workshop in class. We have a lot of people in our class, so I split it up into 3 groups or flights. This is what it looks like right now. And again, you're not in this, but you're going to be in there. We'll wait until everything shakes out and we'll correct this on Wednesday. Once you're in here, you'll want to know what dates your stories are due. You're going to write 2 other stories. These will be original stories. You'll write a different one every time. And let's say, for example, you end up in group 3. Your first original story will be due on September 29th. And then you'll come up again for workshop on November 3rd. Each time that you come up, you'll bring in 12 hard copies of your story. I know, I do a lot with technology, but when it comes to workshopping, it just works better if every student brings in a hard copy, actually 12 hard copies in this case, and we distribute it to the other members of the class that way. Otherwise, there are just problems, and somebody forgets, or there's technological issues, and it goes haywire every time. So for workshopping, we're going to do everything with hard copy. Okay, I think I want to show you just one more thing. On our first class, I asked students what they were worried about, and a lot of students were worried about coming up with ideas or just getting stories started. When I asked if it would be helpful if we provided some prompts, a lot of students liked that idea. So really quickly on Wednesday of last week, I put together a simple Tumblr in which I'll put up some prompts, and 1 or 2 will drop per day. So there's a link right there on the Tumblr. As you can see, there are a number of prompts that are already there. I intend for this to be a support, not an extra layer of obligation. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. It's not an additional task for this class. But if you want a little extra support in getting a toehold or getting started with stories, you might take a look at these prompts, and it might help you get started. I will also say that the kinds of stories you're writing in this class don't have to be written stories. I'm pretty agnostic as far as form. You can write short fictional stories if you want, of course, but if you want to write true stories, as in creative nonfiction, that's also fine. If you want to write a television pilot, say, that's fine too. Any kind of screenwriting is fine. If you want to make a comic or do digital storytelling, the whole world of storytelling is wide open to you. It's your choice. Okay, I think that's all I have. So I appreciate you enrolling in the class. I hope that you're not overwhelmed by any of this. And I will be available on Monday if you have any questions or if you'd like to talk this over or meet. I would be happy to do that. All right. Thank you very much.